You got your YouTube muted?
Yes.
All right, we should be live. Hey guys, if you're in the chat, say hello. Let us know how you're doing today.
Here, I'll jump over there and see.
We got two shots here. Our workspace. Well, I've got my workspace and I've got my camera so I can talk to you. Hey, Casey.
Where's Cindy today?
I'm not sure. I told her about the video today. That me and you were going to have the video today, so she might show up in the chat.
Oh, okay. Is she gonna come on, or is she?
I don't know. If she wants to, she can let me know, and we can join in.
How you doing, Casey?
I see 5 people watching. We've got 6 thumbs up, so maybe we can get a few more people to say hello. If you didn't if you didn't pay attention to the title, we're going to work on taking birdhouses and turning them into fairy houses. And Heather's more of the expert on this. She's done it quite a few times. This is my first attempt.
I didn't know that. If you told me, I forgot.
Yeah. Casey said he's in a mental decline right now. It's been pretty bad this time, but better days are coming.
Well, good.
I love you, and we know it's going to get better.
Yep. I'm going back on trazodone again because I told you about I was blowing dust off because I'm standing, so I got it all going off everywhere. Let's see. Oh, I told you that Kimmy had messaged me, so she sent me another message. Let's see. She said she's fine right now, but ask her again in a couple of weeks with the kids home.
He said he's got an appointment for the psychiatrist on the 31st, so we will see how that goes. Yeah, hopefully they can get your medicines back on track, and I know it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
So, yeah, that's I told you my neighbor up the street. She's got all 5 of her kids home and about to lose her marbles. And my buddy who he and his wife were both at work, and he was sure that the kids were gonna, excuse me, eat all the food and that they weren't gonna be able to replace it because kids home alone, they eat all the food.
Willow just joined us. Hey, Willow. She said hello to both of us and to Casey. Thank you for joining us, Willow. Are you crafting anything today?
Did I even show you what so here's my house that I'm turning.
Yeah, show me the one you picked up today.
Okay, so here's the house I'm turning into a barn. I already cut the perch off.
So what's that one run for a little barn-shaped one?
Money-wise?
Yeah.
I believe it was like $6, but I had a coupon.
Great. That's not bad at all then.
Yeah, so I got it for poo. Okay, these barely fit.
These guys, if you're interested in trying it yourself at home, these are from the Dollar Tree. So these are just little miniature ones you could practice with and play on. I got one of those too. But this one here that I have, I thrifted that. I got that at a thrift store and I found one. I'll go get it. I forgot to bring it out here. It looks like a church. And I'll bring that one. I'll bring that one.
I'm going to put the doors, paint these doors, put them on, and that little, how the top of the hole is showing, I'm going to turn that into a bird's nest.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think is what I'm going to do. So you have a little bird's nest coming out of there? Won't that? That'd be fun.
Here is my church one.
But I have to share my story of the birdhouse or that I did. I was gonna do. It's a whole story. I am very.
Cindy's in the chat.
Oh, good. I am definitely the bipolar crafter. That's for sure. Let me get my hood. So, should I share my story of how what I started with and what I ended up with?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, April and I decided last week we were going to do fairy houses or bird houses, whatever. I don't care who lives in it. But, and we want to do this every month. We're going to do a $20 limit, which means we're going to have to get resourceful to stick with the $20. If I spent more than that, Dwayne would start to complain. But, so I went and got an unfinished house. And for reasons I can't really explain on live YouTube, I picked out 4 paint colors. Mm-hmm. So I have yellow, purple,
beautiful pastels,
and you can't tell it's green because it's really fair with that, or really light, but that's green. So I bought those, and I was supposed to wait till today, but I got thinking over ideas and watching YouTube for inspiration, and then I had to go to Dollar Tree.
Cindy said she doesn't care if Dwayne complains.
And this is what I ended up with. So,
and I think it's great. I mean, it's beautiful, but like Dwayne said, why does everything end up fall colors? But it's great. I mean,
fall is my season. But so the bottles, the flowers, the butterflies, I had all of that already. And then the ribbon I got from Dollar Tree. It's a little bit fringy. I need to do something to make it look a little more, rustic. Because, and I'm thinking about, I want something more for the roof, perhaps. I don't know. If anybody has any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. So this was a multi-step. I was scared to death it was going to turn out hideous because I'd never done it before. I painted it gold, not metallic gold, but ugly 70s gold. And then I did black over it, and then I sanded it down. And at one point, it looked like someone had thrown up on it. And I was just like, oh, it's going to be awful. And then the top, I just did black, and then went around the edges with metallic gold. I don't know. Camera isn't that great. So I'm very proud of it. It turned out much prettier than I was worried. I had made this door to put on it, and the door doesn't fit. So I'm just gonna lean, and it looked more like a fence. So I'm just gonna lean against the back of it. I have a jug kind of thing, or that's not a jug, but a bucket, and a little pot from another project. I had all these things too, and there's a wood bucket. This is ceramic.
Willow said, "With needing a dollar limit, already got all the supplies to make several of those, and then some." Laugh out loud.
Awesome.
She said, "Wood bark chips for shingles on the roof."
You were talking about that, right?
Yeah, or you can cover it in moss. And I did pick up some Spanish moss, but I'm gonna do the glass, the faux sea glass, and do some kind of mosaic on the roof. I'm about to start painting it. I think the body of it, I'm gonna start with this color green. I don't even know what to call this color, but it's from.
Does it have a name?
It's by Arcology.
Huh.
And medium green is what it's
called. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
It's a pretty color. It's almost like a turquoise, but a little darker.
Okay. Yeah, coming through my through my screen, it looks a little bit more spring green, but I know that the colors get thrown off.
Yeah, and we're working with Dollar Tree paints, so I do have a couple of folk art paints over here. No,
I
apple.
also
This one's an apple barrel, but I think I had some folk arts in here somewhere, but I didn't have many, so I just went and picked up whatever they had in the Crafter Square brand and stuff at
very
Dollar Tree.
but let's see. Oh yeah, Willow Tully needs to join us.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that moss is back. I don't know. I sold so much dang moss. I got sick of it. So I haven't been able to talk myself into anything with the moss. I don't know. It fits in with my colors.
I wanted that faux green, like really green moss, but like I said, they still had their St. Patrick's Day stuff out, so they hadn't even put their spring Easter things out yet at the Dollar Tree.
I think there's a national shortage on Easter grass. I haven't been able to find any. I looked at Dollar Tree and Michael's. Today I went to Michael's instead of Joann's. For my crafting needs, I like Michael's better.
We have all of them here. We've got Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, we've got it all here.
I don't know why. I think Michael's I tend to go to it less than the other.
So it meets your needs the best too.
No, I'm saying I tend to go to Michael's less.
Oh, less. Okay, yeah, and then I go to
smaller in comparison. At least ours is, and it doesn't seem. It has more for like if you're doing cake decorating, in my opinion, at ours.
Oh, we just had an aftershock. Did anybody notice my camera shake?
Did you feel it?
Yep, my electricity flashed just a tiny bit, and then it shook again. So if you see me laying on the floor, you know. Now remember, it's the triangle of life. Do not climb under something because it'll smash you flat. You lay right next to it because then when the roof falls down, then you're right there in the triangle of life. Right. I grew up in California.
Go climb in your tub and cover it with your mattress.
And no, it'll just smash you flat too. Yeah, just picture me dragging my king size mattress into the bathroom that isn't much bigger.
Yeah, I would have to go grab my son's twin size because there's no way that I could carry mine. It's too heavy.
Okay, come here. But the earthquakes are driving the dog crazy, and as everyone knows, the dog drives me crazy. Dwayne needs to come home and love his dog.
Willow said her Dollar Tree has moss sheets.
Oh, that's awesome. That sounds really cool.
Well, the one closest to me didn't. It only had the Spanish moss, but I know that on the other side of town, there's another Dollar Tree that tends to have more stuff than this one does. I just didn't make it over there.
And I guess I should say for anyone who didn't hear, Utah had a 5.1, 5.2 this morning, and then we've been having aftershocks. And like I said, I've lived through earthquakes before. I'm not saying that I'm fine. I don't know. It's pick your poison right now, you know?
Yeah, Tyrone was used to earthquakes, but here we worry about tornadoes. And
Utah's had one.
The weather gets crazy here. He's like, "Is this a tornado?"
Yeah. Utah's had one tornado. It was really bizarre. It went through Salt Lake. We are not, we have the Rocky Mountains. It was just a really freak thing. Of course, it did a lot of damage. My jacket's bothering me because it's very asymmetrical right now. But yeah, that was a really bizarre thing. And I even had a neighbor that told me about that he was in Salt Lake on a construction site watching it. They were building a large building. And see, I can never say it right. See, I'll say Shy Dove, but I can't say mama correctly.
Right. Mama,
Southern.
Hey, Mama.
See, I cannot say that to save my life.
Casey said, in the South, the response to every natural disaster is to just go sit on your front porch and watch it.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But so this neighbor of mine, they were in front of, because they were building a conference center in Salt Lake. huge,
Mhm.
huge sheets of glass for, the windows, and they're standing from the windows. And this is all a bunch of Utah guys, right? And then
Mhm.
somebody who's been in tornado, you know, um, area came along and said, you may not want to be standing in front of windows. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. He said it
Oh,
didn't
bless.
occur to any of them to not stand in front of huge windows.
Right.
And I asked him, I'm like, what did it sound like? And he's like, I was so caught up in watching it, I didn't even think about what it sounded like. So,
Right.
because I was just very curious. Because earthquakes don't sound like in real life like they do on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Anything will do, Heather, just as long as. Oh, of course, I speak to you. Yes.
Oh,
So,
tornadoes sound like trains. They do. Yeah, I know.
oh,
I mean, I'm
okay.
prepared for tornadoes and all that, but I never got to experience an earthquake. Like I said, the only thing close to that I'm used to is that we live near a rock quarry, so our house will shake and you'll hear a boom, you know,
Well,
when it
what
goes off.
I guess technically it could be a bit of PTSD, wasn't anything I did therapy for, but for years, if I would feel a slight shake, it would catch my attention. Not
Mm-hmm.
okay. So what it was, we moved into a house that had a busy road behind us, and the semi trucks would go too fast right behind us. And
Mm-hmm.
so if I was just falling asleep or just waking up and I would feel that shake, then it would scare the crap out of me. Because you know what I mean when you're in that mindset where your brain's just turning off or just turning on, and then you
Right.
get the shit shaken out of you, and and so that took a long time for me to get used to, but
I just realized I'm using Mardi Gras colors, but that kind of makes me happy.
oh, fun, yes. And but see, I get talking too much and not working
Yeah,
on a project.
bit.
Should I show off and share the story of some of my past houses that I pulled out?
You can show some if you would like, but you
Okay.
also got to complete the one you got to at least almost complete the one you're working on now. So you got to talk and work.
I got to talk and work. Why do you think I did so horribly in school? I can't talk and work, and I'm way better at talking than I am at working. That's why I was such a good cashier. Because
Yeah,
after I got the rhythm of cashiering down, they paid me to stand and talk all day long.
exactly. That's why I did so well as a
Yeah,
cashier.
yeah. That's why
But
I
I
told
was good
my
at multitasking and I was good at talking and working. So.
yeah, I told my boss, I'm like, you pay me just to stand and talk all day, right? And he was happy to hear that because customers liked me. So,
Yeah.
um, and
I'm
I'm
going to give y'all my honest opinion about this Crafter's Square paint. As
uh,
I'm applying it, it is so see-through. So I'm probably going to
you're gonna
have
have to do
to do
several
multiple
layers.
coats.
And so
Yeah.
here's my Christmas one. It is not finished. I started it 5 years ago. I ran out of snow text. There's some snow on the bottom. See, no snow on the roof, really just along the edges. I want to get some Christmas ornamenty things to put around it, but I never want to pay full Christmas prices, so I have to go the day after Christmas sometime. And
Yeah. That's the best time to pick up stuff is right after the holiday. And even if you hoard it for later for other things,
yeah,
you'll have.
yes, absolutely. Well, and something I had forgotten until I got dusting this thing off, it had an inch of dust on it, was this had been, and I'm sure it was ugly because I sanded it down. This had been somebody else's project that I found at Savers, sanded it down, painted over it.
Which is not a bad idea, guys. If you do find, a birdhouse at your Goodwill or Salvation Army or something, you can always paint over it. Spray paint
Well,
it white and start again or
I
whatever.
figure, see, I'm doing a couple of things. One thing, being resourceful and reusing.
Mhm.
Another thing is if I'm going to sand it down, paint over it, it's because it's really ugly. So I'm taking something ugly out of this world and I'm adding something hopefully attractive. So
Right.
I figure that that's multi-layered in refinishing things. Now, this one, I keep this one out on the back porch with the other tchotchkes. This one I had refinished. I sanded down the top. So that roof is really cool.
No, I love the roof.
And this had been 80s apricot. If anybody remembers how absolutely hideous that was, it probably had some seafoam green on it too. It had ugly silk flowers.
I think you could possibly mimic that roof if you took like maybe some sticks and cut them in half and stuck, laid them side by side. You might be able to mimic that roof.
And I've never felt like this one is finished. I want to do some seashells higher up. So someday I'll do that. There's that one.
I'll definitely get some seashells when I get a chance to go back to Florida again.
Now this one I did finish, and then the damn cat came along and messed with it, so it's not in its entirety anymore. See that little witch there?
That's the haunted house looking thing.
She had a friend standing on this side. It was so cute. I still like the house, or I think it's a jail cell. And then I did a garland. It's some kind of spidery looking garland there. And it's popsicle sticks. Nope, craft sticks that are similar to popsicle, but that's what.
Willow said, I've got a few pre-made birdhouses, but I mostly just build my own out of scrap lumber. That's cool.
Dang, she's ambitious.
Yeah, she's crafty.
She needs to come on here.
Build us some.
Let's see. Next.
And generally, you display yours in the home, right?
I have crap stashed everywhere. I guess
No, I'm saying you display your fairy houses inside the house. Like I'm planning on putting mine out in the yard.
Yeah, well, I told you about
users inside.
How a rodent moved into the one that I had sitting on the ground and died. Had to throw that away. That was really gross. But no, I have one of those carts, what they call baker's rack kind of a thing out on my back porch, and then I pile decorative crap onto.
Oh, cool.
So, okay, I love fall, as we were talking about. So, this one was from Brand New. I did the crackle medium, where you do the paint dark underneath, and then the crackle medium, and slap on the lighter. And then these are just foam stickers. I probably already had them at home, is why I went with them. Just something simple.
Did you pick up anything to put on this birdhouse when you bought the birdhouse today, or?
No, that's part of why I'm thinking. I'm thinking on it, looking at it. Now
I gotta let it dry for a minute. The
last place we lived, I had a pink bathroom. The bathrooms here, the one already had some kind of purple flowers with green wallpaper, which I've left because purple's my favorite color. So now that and Jeremy, his bathroom downstairs, he says that he couldn't poop if he had pink in his bathroom. So all my pink decorations are put away. But this I made for my pink bathroom. And there's the fence, and I did a little garland, pink raffia, pearls.
She's here.
I think I already had the fencing, and the raffia. So there's that one. Then somebody needs to come to my house and dust. My cleaning lady sucks. So here is this one. It's the church, people, the doors that open, no people.
That one reminds me of like the little cuckoo clocks.
Oh, yeah. And I did a little garland on there. My son said it's ugly, but I like it. It's flowery. I don't know. If I find something that goes better, maybe I'll do it. It's kind of contrasty.
The decoupage, the leaves onto it is cool. Like,
yeah, yep. I probably did Mod Podge for that. And then there's the butterflies. They're wood. I painted and stained them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 butterflies on that. So those are my finished and mostly finished houses.
All right, so let's see what you're going to make today.
So, showed you unfinished Sunday.
I think while I let this paint start to dry so that I can do a second coat, I'm going to start gluing these glass tiles on here.
On Sunday, so I had these plastic eggs, not the kind you put candy in, but craft eggs that I had stashed from previous project I was going to do or something. And so I painted. Now, these had been dyed with egg dye, and they looked really ugly. So I painted all of these with the paints that I bought last Friday. And then I went over them with glitter. One to do a varnish, because it's not non-varnish paint, you know, because I like to get the paints that have the varnish in them, but couldn't find the colors and they were too expensive at Hobby Lobby. My dog stinks. And two, because they had been dyed before, and you know when you dye eggs how it's really inconsistent, and these were even worse. So anyway, I did the glitter to help kind of disguise some of the flaws that were showing through. So what I want to do is an Easter egg farm. And then I went to Dollar Tree and got Littlest Pet Shop, Purple Bunny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Little Pet Shop, guys.
Green sheep. This alien pink thing. I think I don't know if it's an ugly duckling, a swan. I think it's an alien. And then I guess this is just a cat, but you know, every farm needs a cat.
Yeah.
So, now I had painted that tray, which I really like, but I don't think it's going to end up going along with what I'm doing here. I'll show you my tray.
When I get through gluing these on, I'll show you those. I'll show everybody those little fairies that I picked up.
Yes. So I couldn't find any green grass, so I found the brown crinkly paper, and Dwayne says it's Utah grass.
Okay.
Because it's brown. Now, this is the lid to a box. Oh, go to Michael's. They have the boxes for $10, but you can use a coupon. And they have boxes like what this lid is from. So I was proud of this. I'd never done this exact sort of thing before. I went around it with the gold. This had actually been stained before for another project that I never finished. So I went over it with the green and kind of sanded it. And the green I had mixed in with a texture medium. I don't know if it really added anything. I had the texture medium. So, so I think it's pretty cool. I might go ahead and do the box to go with it. but I don't think it's going to go with my Easter egg farm. So we'll see
Do
what.
they have any like bunny rabbits or anything like that?
All I at Michael's.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Probably. I was mainly just looking at the wood projects. I didn't really look at the Easter, but yeah, I have the purple bunny. I got one. So I'm thinking of doing this in kind of neutral colors so that my pastels stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need to come up with something else. If it's going to be a farm, I got to have some property around it. So I have here an Amazon box. Imagine that we have an Amazon box that I might cut up to be the property around it. And I have a dozen of these eggs that I painted. So we'll see how many of them make it to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm doing.
All right.
And I'm going to glue the house I finished onto a piece of paper and glue my jars, my pots along with it.
We got about 8 people watching. Everybody's just kind of chatting among themselves. What am I gluing on? I'm gluing on faux sea glass. These are faux sea glass that you can get from the Dollar Tree. Everything except for the thrifted birdhouse or things that I already had, I'm using from the Dollar Tree. So this would be a Dollar Tree project because you can actually, this one comes from the Dollar Tree. So if you wanted to do it, you could do a mini one just using all Dollar Tree products. The only thing I already had was like my paint brushes, my hot glue gun, my sanding block, and some of the paints that I may or may not end up using.
You know, I have a great hot glue gun from a storage unit, but I don't have any glue sticks for it yet. I need to get glue sticks for it. But I do have
my glue gun. This one's a high temp that I'm using right now, but for many years, I was using a miniature low temp for everything I did, and I had gotten it I think I bought it secondhand at a Goodwill, and it still works, but I just decided I wanted a bigger one that held bigger glue sticks, and
so yeah, mine is the one I'm going to be using today is miniature one, high temp. The one from the storage unit, it's a bigger one. It doesn't say what temp it is, so I'm going to stick with all temp glue sticks to be safe. But like I said, I got to buy some, but I may as well use up what I have first. So
I'm trying to fit these things together, but I'm probably going to have to start overlapping them because they're so inconsistently cut.
So we need to come up with what next month's project is going to be.
I don't know. Let's ask the people in the chat. Is there something in particular they'd like to see us do on a $20 budget? Maybe we can get some ideas for people in the chat.
I'm wondering how much I've spent here on my 2 houses, because the other house I got for about $5. And then, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So I'm going to work on the ones I have. And
see, I spent 20.
When my kids get to come over, I think we're going to go out in the yard. We're going to clear a little spot in the front right there. And, I think I want to take some of the little glass stones and maybe make a little river. And like I told you, I wanted to mount mine up on dowel rods off the ground, and then maybe using some twine and some sticks, make some little rope bridges and stuff and connect them together. And then I'll probably get a few plants from the hardware store and just plant a few little plants out there.
It's
Let
fun.
me show everybody my my little dolls that I found at the Dollar
Oh
Tree.
yeah, the fairy dolls.
So they have these right here. They have them in pink. They have them in yellow, green, and purple and pink. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to suspend them with some fishing line so it's invisible. And once I have everything up on the little dowel rods, I figure from underneath the houses themselves, I can attach the fishing line and let these look like, and I'm assuming the wind blowing would move them around so they look like little fairies flying around the village and stuff like that. So I've got a few of them over here in the basket. I didn't get the yellow one, but I did get the green, purple, and pink one. And then they have the cute little wooden doll furniture too. So I got 2 chairs and a table. And then I bought a couple of other pieces that I'm going to put in the craft sale when me and Cindy do the next craft sale. In case somebody else would be interested in painting some or have a project that they might want to use it for. Because, we picked up one of everything they had. And I just decided that the chairs and that one table were the only ones I would probably use. Anybody in the chat crafting too? Or did anybody throw any ideas out there for us for next time? Something we could work on?
And I just have to say that I was in a complete creative rut, and then April and I decided to do this, and it's really helping me emotionally.
Yay.
And so I am so glad we're doing this.
It made me feel a lot better and have something to look forward to.
Oh, good. So it's helping.
Being separated from my kids most of the time, especially right now during the outbreak, it's not even the best idea for me to get out, travel, and go down there and pick them up because more than likely they've been more exposed to things than I have because I've been at home for the last couple of weeks. Tyrone's been the only one to leave and go get supplies. And I'm afraid that, my kids would possibly maybe even infect me. And I know that I'm a smoker. I'm overweight. I deal with I don't see a doctor on a regular basis, but I likely am close to being a diabetic, likely have high blood pressure, just a lot of different things that, I just want to be safe and be cautious. So I'm not even sure if I will be going to pick them up. But I just want I really want them to stay where they are and for me to kind of stay where I am. So everybody's, following the rules and not making each other sick or anything like that. Hopefully their dad doesn't have to work. He hasn't communicated with me whether or not he's having to work or not. But I know their school is closed. Oh, that fits right in there.
Okay. I don't have to deal with school stuff since all my oldest son did tell me that after spring break for college that all of his classes will be online. And
they didn't cancel my son's prom. I thought they were going to cancel his prom, but they let them have the prom, and then right after that's when they let them out of school. And I don't think they're supposed to go back until the first week in April.
Unfortunately, only my daughter-in-law is working right now because the zoo is closed, but she's a full-time animal keeper. And so the zoo, they have money reserved to keep the animals going for, while even if the zoo's closed. And but yeah, my son my daughter, her boyfriend, they all work for the same company. None of them are working right now. And my youngest son, I told him, I'm like, okay, right now you are free from me nagging you to go look for a job. So he was happy to hear that.
Yeah. That's what I was
But
saying. I got to call my son and see if, he works for a restaurant. So I'm hoping that, he doesn't have to still, at least if he has to work, that they're not allowing it, for people to come inside. Hopefully if they're doing anything, they would deliver it. But, he works at a sandwich shop, so they don't tend to deliver anyway. I don't know if they would make I don't know what I'm saying, make plans to try to do that or not, even though that's not something they normally would do.
and Natalie, she knows how to do oil and tire changes, and there's a Jiffy Lube saying they need, at least before all this, that they needed someone. So she's hoping maybe there, or there's the hamburger place, local owned hamburger place that she used to work at, and she went in there and told them that she needed something. She's hoping, they're all hoping to go back to work in a matter of weeks. Figure my oldest son, well, he's got roommates that live in his basement. He's got a house.
Hi, Jude.
My daughter and her boyfriend live in an apartment, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then Dwayne's saying that his main contract is having issues, so we'll see what happens there. Everything is just a big maybe, big fat maybe right now.
Right.
And but luckily my mother and stepfather are fine. I checked on them, and they're an hour away from me.
I think my aunt, I got to call her and see, but I haven't bothered her because I know they have so many children and everything to worry about and things going on over there. But she's a truck driver, and I think from some of the posts that she'd been posting on Facebook that more than likely they're super busy right now because they're still trying to transport goods everywhere. So I don't think that they're going to be affected, work wise in a negative way because they're needed more to transport stuff right now.
That's good.
She's got so many grandchildren, and they, a lot of them live together in one home. So that worries me a lot about them, getting sick and stuff. But I know Georgia schools are out, so the kids don't have to go to school and bring anything home with them.
So it's just like the meme that I read to you last night about how we're supposed to be in groups of 10 or less. And here in Utah, we're trying to decide who's got to live outside. There are families that have 10 kids here. Not so much. Dwayne and I know plenty of people. And I was here. So first half of my childhood, California, second half here. And we both knew way too big of families. So
my mom's side of the family is pretty much left with my cousins and aunt and uncle. But like I said, they have lots of kids, so that's it. But there's no grandparents or anything like that on that side for me because they've all passed away. I do have a grandmother left on my dad's side, but I don't really have much communication with them, so I don't know.
Dwayne and I are all out of grandparents.
Let's see what they're saying in the chat. Momo said, my insurance caseworker just called to check on me and make sure I had enough meds for a month. That's really good that they're doing that, Momo.
Yeah, that is really good.
Willow said, finishing up the last half dozen of these 100+ yo-yos. I'm guessing she's got yo-yos for crafts. Mine did that yesterday, Momo, and told I could go ahead and order April's with. Well, I don't for a while. That's good that everybody's being able to get their medication. Medicaid has approved the one-time advance ordering of prescriptions because of this whole virus over. That's good to know because I know that when I was talking to Casey, Miss Darlene needed to get some refills done, and they were telling her that at this time the office wasn't seeing anyone, and I wasn't sure, like what they were going to do about that. We have had some empty shelves and stuff around here, but it hasn't been as extreme as I've seen in some areas.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, my neighborhood is like super, super quiet. And even though I know there's a few kids that live down the street and I know that they're out of school, I haven't even seen them outside playing or anything. So it's like deadly quiet around here.
I'm still seeing the kids. My craft room is at the front of the house. I'm kind of such an old lady. I sit here and watch the comings and goings of the neighborhood kids.
I do that on my front porch when I go to sit out and have a cigarette, or I sit on the front porch. I listen to. We have lots of trees and birds and squirrels, and I enjoy sitting on the front porch.
Yes, I'm going to turn into my grandma and be sitting waiting for the mailman.
We do that
too. Because I remember when my grandma, she'd write out all her checks, for her bills, and go put them in the mailbox, and then wait for the mailman to come. And so it was cute. But it was like, you can do that online, Grandma.
That's one thing I enjoy about working from home and working at my own pace is, I can just sit around for a little while outside and enjoy the weather. And I never in my whole life till we moved here and I was able to start my own business working from home, I was never able to just really stop and enjoy life like that. So I try to take advantage of it now that I can.
Yeah. We have the mountains that are pretty that way.
I've seen some photos that Dwayne shared. Y'all have some beautiful views.
Yeah, then the other direction is State Street, a couple blocks down. That's not pretty.
Oh.
That's the road that's 2 to 3 lanes wide. It does break off at the point of the mountain and then continues on in Salt Lake County. It's a very busy, very big road. The main road in Utah along the Wasatch Front. Anything that you could need is on State Street, somewhere along the way. And if the freeway is having issues, then you jump off and go along State Street. So.
I definitely haven't, like I said, I haven't even left the house, but we definitely are not going into Atlanta. Atlanta is the epicenter of everything around here that's going on.
Yeah, they're saying that.
So these little towns out here where we're at, they're, not very big. They don't have a whole lot, of things. But, I mean, we have enough. I mean, pretty much anything I could want as far as purchasing something, I could pretty much get around here.
No one's supposed to be going into Salt Lake today because they're trying to make sure the buildings are okay after the earthquake.
Right.
So if you don't have to, don't go to Salt Lake. And as I've told you, along the Wasatch Front, there's no little towns. It's all mashed. 2 million people all mashed together. You can't tell one town from the next. It's all one continuous place. So, which I don't know mileage wise. It goes from Ogden to Provo. It takes about 2 hours. And ouch, that's going north to south, and then east to west. It's not so much because there's the Great Salt Lake. Dang it. I think I got it out.
I don't know what quilt yo-yo is, but they were discussing.
I don't know what that is either.
Fabric yo-yos, a fabric circle that you base the edge and then gather and knot, then flatten a bit. Okay.
And then what do you do with it?
You quilt.
Oh.
It's some quilting. It's a quilting thing.
Okay.
Knowing that I don't know anything about how to quilt, but
Nope.
the little bit of terminology I've mainly learned from Cindy.
Yeah, I don't know anything about quilting either.
I know I love quilts. I know they're beautiful.
A friend of mine, when both of her grandmas did sewing and such, and they died like in the same year, and then my friend ended up with all their sewing stuff. Anyway, there was a queen, if not king size quilt that had been started, not finished. So she set that up in her front room, worked on that for months. The pattern was already on it, and she's got the patience to do detail work. I do not. So, because she's like, you want to come help me? I'm like, I'll come talk to you while you do it. You don't want my help. It won't look pretty. So, but yeah, it took up her entire front room.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought that was cool. You know, she kind of did that, you know, with her grandma, whichever one it was in mind. So.
My grandmother was she had muscular dystrophy, so you know I didn't get to really do anything but sit and watch television with my grandmother.
You know that my children, their memory of my grandma is that, and she was incredibly resourceful, from very resourceful parents, and my grandma could do all kinds of things, and then my kids never got to know that part of her. She was just this, you know, she was always little, but by the time they knew her, she was like, you know, just this little tiny lady sitting in her chair watching TV, but
I learned a lot of cooking from my great grandmother and a little touch of, you know, gardening and stuff because they were farming people. But past mending some clothes, I don't think I ever saw her like do any sewing or knitting or anything like that. That wasn't in her nature.
my grandma was an amazing seamstress, and she
Yeah,
crocheted. She wasn't much of a cook, but she was good at baking. And she bottled. Their backyard had a lot of gardening going on. Bottled food. Like I said, she still does, but very clear memories of the Depression, but they didn't realize as kids they were going through the Depression, because like I said, her parents were very resourceful and provided for the 6 kids just fine. They did a lot of amazing things.
Cindy laughed and said, laugh out loud, Heather got her cooking skills from her grandma.
Yeah, my mom was a decent cook. Trying to feed 4 picky kids isn't easy, but my mom, without much money, I can bake cookies. So
from scratch or from the package?
Oh, scratch. I have recipes in my head. Dwayne will tell you it's hit and miss. Sometimes it's proceed with caution. They might not have turned out that well. For me, and of course, baking is a science, so you really do need to follow a recipe if you're going to do like a pastry. You have to follow a recipe. But recipes are merely guidelines for me. And Dwayne, he'll follow a recipe exact the first time. I don't know why. That's just how his brain works. And then
I do it the first time by the recipe, and then, you know, of course, try it out and see, do I like it like that, or do I want to change it up a little bit, like add something more to it? But now with baking, I don't know enough about the chemistry of baking to manipulate, you know, baked goods like cakes and pastries and stuff, because when it comes to baking, being precise is important. And if you try to alter something, you could totally mess it all up. But when it comes to actually just cooking, I play around. I don't really cook by recipe at all unless I'm trying something that somebody suggested. Like Dwayne has shared a lot of recipes with me.
Oh, yeah. Cindy's talking about playing under the quilt. I had a neighbor whose mother did beautiful quilts, and in my neighbor's apartment, there was a picture of her mother's legs. She was sitting down, and you just have her legs with a bit of a quilt hanging from, the stretched out quilt hanging over the edges.
Mm-hmm.
And her legs, I'm like, it was in a frame on the wall. And I'm like, what the heck is that? She said, well, that's what I remember most of my mother was playing under the quilt, like Cindy's talking about.
That's precious.
And yeah, so that was her. I have heard about those kinds of childhoods. Um, and
I used to build I didn't have a quilt that I can remember or anything, but we used to love to go get the chairs from the table and like put them in like a square and then build like blanket forts and stuff. Me and my brother.
oh yeah, absolutely, got to do those. Lots of fun. Okay,
This roof has really gotten out of control. I don't know what I'm doing because the pieces are like the bags. This piece is so big. I'm like, I can't use that.
Are you gonna break it?
Hit it with a hammer and break
it. Okay, so I'm gonna take just a moment to go get me a protein drink and to decide what to dig out my paints. Oh, see the drawers on the top shelf?
Mm-hmm.
Those are all paints from Craft Past. So I'm gonna do a little dig and see what colors I'm gonna go with. So I'll be back in just 2 minutes.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll check the chat and see if we got any questions. Anybody want to share any information? How y'all are doing? Anything like that? Hey, Dwayne. He said he felt another aftershock. We played under the quilt as my granny quilted on frames that came from the ceiling while Granny watched her stories. That's cool. Yeah, I used to watch my grandmother's stories with her too. For anybody that's not from the South, they may not know that means soap operas. Let's see if I missed any other questions or information. How do y'all like being able to see what I'm working on, but still talk to me and see my face and everything? That's what I plan on doing with more of my videos from now on, is just being able to show you whatever I'm doing and you can talk to me and see my face. But honestly, I'm going to have to do something about this lighting because I notice now that my computer seems to be really dark. All I've got is one of my photographing lamps that I use, the lighting that I use for my photos. And without me getting closer to the camera, I see that it's darker further away, but I'm really glad that the lighting over here looks really good. Oh, it is? Okay. I didn't know if everybody knew the stories term. I know us down here, we always come up with little words for stuff. Let's see. I need to turn on your overhead light. This one up here, it usually washes everything out, but I can try it for you and see. See if it's going to do it, and this one flickers sometimes too, y'all. Yep, it didn't really do anything. It's like the camera doesn't focus until I'm closer to it on my computer, but I'll leave that on because now I can see a little bit better than I could before. I'm having to lean over so I can read the computer. I haven't either, Willow. I have not watched the soap opera since I think Days of Our Lives got like really crazy at some point, and I just quit watching it. I was like, and that's been many years ago. Probably back when I first started having kids. So in early 2000s. It helps a bit, but not a whole lot. It's fine though. Okay. I'll figure it out. I'll probably end up having to get another lamp or something and put it over there so that I've got light coming from multiple directions. I think there is only a couple still on TV. Most stopped a few years back. Okay. Have y'all seen that Dynasty, new version of Dynasty? Casey got me to watch that. That was pretty interesting. I think it was on Netflix. That's where I watched it. If he's still in the chat, he could tell us. I think he dipped on us, though. Cindy said, you redid the necklace with the white cat's eye beads. I added a couple of silver beads and a pink bead with white, and it really helped the necklace. Awesome. I finished up my cameo necklace that I made, and I'm going to start making some more. I made the, I'll take it off right here. I made the bell. Of course I made the bell, but I made the hook closure on it, and I finally got some chain in. And then this is the, if y'all don't follow me on Facebook or anything, what I'm using is I have a die cutting machine so I can cut out different shapes. And I found one and ordered a cameo shape. And on that one, it also has holes that go all the way around it. So I was able to wire wrap gemstone beads onto it. So I did that. I wire wrap garnets all the way around, in which I'm going to do it with different gemstones. And then I took a piece of mother of pearl and I carved and cut it out to the shape from behind it. And I was going to like permanently adhere that mother of pearl. I got it twisted. I was going to permanently adhere that mother of pearl to the back, but it doesn't lay completely flat. And the only other option would maybe to be put something over the back of it. And I don't think I want to do that. So I really don't mind. It's not scratchy. It doesn't hurt you. It's not uncomfortable or anything like that. So I think I just want to leave it loose like that. What do y'all think about it, being loose and it just swaying behind there?
So what I'm looking. Hold your house up to camera.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second.
Of course.
I haven't been touching the sides of it because I don't know if that paint's dry or not, but I know that purple is definitely going to need a second coat. Okay, let's go. So that's the roof that I'm doing. I'm going to try to fill in some of the gaps. And then it's green and purple, but like I said, that purple needs some more coats. The green needs some more coats too. But this made it super heavy. That glass made that thing heavy. Yeah, it's faux sea glass, it's not real sea glass. It's just where they take shards of glass and put it in a rock tumbler and call it sea glass. I did some research recently about sea glass. Real authentic sea glass is glass that's been in the ocean for a really long time because people used to dump all their trash and stuff in the ocean or on boats. They just throw their stuff over. And authentic sea glass, there's ways to tell, and there's some YouTube channels out there that you can watch to help you identify it, but usually you find it washed up on the beach. But there are people that are throwing stuff out there that's not, new, of course. I mean, not old, of course, but it's a way that if you do your research, there's a way you can tell real sea glass from pro. Yeah, it does. Hi, Anna. How are you? Y'all hit that thumbs up when you come in, please. We're working on fairy houses and just chatting and talking. So if you want to tell us anything or let us know. Oh, look at that. That's not glued on well. That piece came off. I'm about to have to go hunt down another glue stick. It may be in my drawers right here. If y'all noticed, I got a new workbench so that I can hammer away on stuff on here. That other table I had was just a fold-up table, and this one has 4 drawers on it, so I can put all my tools in it. I'm absolutely in love with this. I don't think that I have. I thought I might have had my glue sticks in one of these drawers. Could have used my stencils. I bought some feather stencils because I want to stencil over on my. I want to like put feathers all over my workbench. I even changed out the handles. I know you've seen it, Heather, but I changed out the handles on my workbench. And
Yes.
and I just love it. Now I'm gonna have to go hunt down a glue stick real quick before that one runs out. I'll be right back.
Dwayne, who is that direction from us, he felt the aftershock, and my son, who's further north, he felt it too. We have a family text that we do, and it's awesome. Because then I know what's going on with my kids, and actually hear about what's happening with my oldest son, who has his father's communication skills, not Dwayne's. Well, okay, Dwayne's slightly better. Yeah. But it's good that everyone is doing okay. Guess it's one of those when it rains it pours kind of thing going on here. Why not, right? Everybody's saying the end of days is going to come here sometime. I need to really wash this brush. It's getting too stiff.
I'm completely baffled. I don't know where my glue sticks are.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I spent the past couple of days looking through stuff. I even cleaned a couple of drawers. So.
And I know what it is that when we took down the other table and I reorganized everything, I probably put them somewhere else, and I don't know where that is.
Oh, I need twine. I don't want to have to buy a whole spool. How do I not have twine?
I don't know. I have so much twine. I have multiple spools.
Because, if I turn this into a barn, and then I have these little clothespins, and it'd be so cute to do a clothesline. Just need not even a yard. So just inches of twine.
Willow, this one here is the one from Harbor Freight, and right now they have a coupon. I think it's like a 20% off coupon. These are like $150 for this bench, so you could save and probably spend about $120 something on one of these. And it's got a shelf on the bottom. You can stand and work at it, or you can sit like I got a stool over here now, like a bar stool kind to sit on. Man.com skill meter. I was looking to see if anybody commented on their thoughts on that necklace. I really need some feedback.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I was asking them how they felt about the fact that the mother of pearl kind of sways behind it, that it isn't stationary, because that doesn't bother me and it's comfortable to wear. I just wondered if that was like if it was unappealing to anyone. I'd like to know, because
Sure.
trying to find out if my buyers would be.
I think it makes it unique. So I like it.
Oh, she did? Okay, let's see. Cindy said Willow had a comment. The swaying could damage the front of the cameo from rubbing against the bezel. Oh. That could be true. It could, yeah. In that case, I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. I may attach leather to the back of it. That's one of the options I have, but gluing it together is not an option. Then possibly wiring it on is an option. So wiring or leather, which do y'all think? Do you think it should be wire wrapped in the back to hold it still, or do y'all think I should put some leather on the back of it?
And then would it still be free moving with the leather? Like, is the leather just going to be on the back of it's copper, right?
It's copper with a piece of mother of pearl behind it.
Yeah. So would the leather just be on the back of the
leather,
copper?
I would actually wire onto, like, thread through the leather, just like how to explain it. I would punch holes in the leather and then run the wire through the leather to hold it on. So it would hold it in place like a pocket that it would hold it in. Or I could just simply run the wire to hold it and still leave the mother of pearl visible from the back. Leather on back, then do a sub beaded bezel integrated into the existing bezel. There is no bezel on this piece. There's no bezel. Not in my opinion. I don't think there's because the bezel is the part that goes around like a stone. Might have to explain that more to me, Willow.
Yeah.
I may not understand that, but you do think the leather on the back, but I don't understand to sub bead a bezel.
That
part was a little confusing. Because I'm new to making jewelry. I understand bezel as a term, but
I don't even know what it means. Like, I'd have to.
But I haven't started working with bezeling anything yet. But I did see something recently that's got me motivated to try. But I've got to get some teardrop shaped stones to try that with. Tyrone. Let's see if I can get him to answer me. I want to see if he's seen. If he's perhaps seen where my glue sticks went. I know he doesn't use them, but maybe he saw them somewhere. Does the frame you have any holes where you could weave into? The frame sets on top of the mother of pearl. So this is the frame. It's interdependent of the back piece of mother of pearl. The back piece of mother of pearl is just behind it. And it's just a cutout. And yes, there's holes there. That's where I wove the beads on. So now I'm thinking if I were to weave the wire on the back, I would use those same holes. Some of them I skipped holes. So I could use the skipped holes to run through and go around the back some which way or another. I'd figure it out, I guess. Because the thing is, I wouldn't want to cross over in front of the mother of pearl where you could actually see the wire from the front. I would only want the wire to travel around the back side of it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
She said, if not, you could use wire gauge drill bits in your Dremel tool. You just need to get a chuck for your Dremel. wire gauge drill bits. I do have my Dremel. As far as needing a chuck for my Dremel, mine uses a little whatchamacallit, a little wrench to untighten it. Unless you mean there's some kind of attachment that I would need. I got it.
Oh, hang on 1 second.
I mean, I don't know about the damage exactly to the mother of pearl. Like I said, this is not going to necessarily do anything to it. It mainly sits behind it. But I mean, I guess in a lot of movement, it would sway. And it could, I guess it could slap up against it and possibly crack it. So that wouldn't be, yeah, I'll figure something out about probably the leather, I'm thinking. Just way smaller. So you'd have to change out this part of it right here. Is that what you're talking about? You'd have to get a smaller one of those. Let's see.
Okay. That was my sister calling from Alaska. I knew she was calling to make sure we're doing okay.
Okay.
Oh, so people in Alaska have been mailing toilet paper to their friends and family down here because they haven't been hoarding toilet paper
They're
up there.
more sensible up there.
No, they just, I guess it just hasn't reached them yet, the degree of panic.
Right.
But
That was like, I was kind of like interested in why toilet paper was people's main concern. Like,
yeah, what started that? I would not.
I mean, we're facing upper respiratory infection, not necessarily diarrhea or something.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what that was about.
No, in any apocalypse stories or movies, I've never heard everybody freaking out over toilet paper.
Okay, thanks, Willow. I'll look into that.
I figure the plumbers are going to be real busy because then people start flushing
All that
napkins.
toilet paper.
Well, no, napkins and paper towels, and they're not meant to go down the toilet. And then they, mess up your pipes, and then you got to have the plumber come and fix it all for you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Ouch, I burned myself. I always do that with this one. This one's hot.
Yes, I always try to use great caution with the hot glue gun.
So what you got so far on this one?
Me? What I'm doing? How far I am?
Mm-hmm.
I have cream colored paint on about half of it. I had to finish sanding it because I didn't want any rough spots. And
this is very interesting. This came out of there. Now this looks more like it's some type of natural stone, but it came out of the bag of glass.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got pitting and all kinds of stuff.
That's way cool.
I'm gonna have to put that on my gemstone tester later and see if that's real or if that's just a piece of bumpy, chunky glass. This roof.
I'm wondering if my sister that lives in southern Utah, she's going to be coming up this way because all of her grandkids are currently up in northern. Because her daughter that lives down in southern came up here to help her sister because her kid's at home and she's working, but my other niece doesn't work, so I guess she came up to help. And luckily my niece has a big house, so for 5 kids you were running around. And luckily too, all the grandkids get along, so that's nice. They basically just have everybody all quarantined there together.
I mean, all kids argue, but I could say that about my cousin's kids too. They're so closely knit and raised pretty much around each other constantly that they get along really well.
Yep, I've got cousins that all very close, and then their kids all grew up very close. And can't say the same about my family. I'm the one who talks to all my siblings on a regular basis. But I'm the only one that does that. They don't talk to each other so much. What I figure, since I'm the youngest, then it was one of the household rules was keep track of Heather, since I was the youngest. So they all grew up, having to keep an eye on me. And so I guess it's, don't know any different, but they have their issues with each other, but they all, I guess, kind of feel the need to make sure I'm okay. That's fine.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I still got to give my brother a call that never calls. He hasn't called once to say, "Hey, are you okay? Do you have coronavirus?"
Yeah,
I'm starting to wonder if he works also at a restaurant. He works at Nick and Norm's, the one that's over there near where they film The Walking Dead.
Oh, cool.
The owners are. The Nick part is one of the producers, and then Norman is Norman Reedus. They went in together and made Nick and Norm's restaurant. It's like it looks like a 1920s speakeasy kind of bar and restaurant.
How awesome.
So I'm assuming with all this going on that he also would be out of work right now. So I wanted to call him and see how he's doing mentally and financially. Because my brother's struggling lately with his mental health.
Yeah, I'm concerned about my brother's mental health with what he's facing. My brother works at a homeless shelter, and no one is talking about the homeless through this, because we only talk about the homeless when it comes to them being a nuisance. But people who live on the streets don't have good health. Imagine that.
Yep. And with them being out there and us traveling near them and by them,
Yeah,
it can be a real factor in people contracting.
Yeah.
I did see though that was posting that they were putting up washing stations right out on the street.
Oh,
so
awesome!
Places for people to wash their hands and clean up a little bit, I guess. But then that's like a communal thing at that point. So then that starts to make you wonder: is that okay?
It's so, I don't know. If only we had more answers, right?
Oh, Cindy said she always thought I told her that my brother worked at Naked Norms. I said, she said, no, Nick and Norms. I was like, yeah, I didn't know she thought I said that.
That's hilarious.
I'm sure my brother would love it if it was called that, but no.
That's funny.
That little town of Sonoya where it's at. I mean, they're a tiny little southern community. I'm sure they wouldn't go for that kind of place.
Not exactly your liberal type.
No, not at all.
The two most liberal places I've ever been to is San Francisco. Used to go there as a kid. My mother loved it, and it was cool. You'll see. Not that my mother's liberal, but there's a lot of arts there. My mother is an artist. And then Austin, Texas, very liberal.
Really?
Okay. Oh yeah, they are a liberal island in a sea of conservatism.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, because the rest of Texas is conservative.
Their country, and it's pretty much any place that has a lot of country folks don't tend to be very liberal.
Yeah, Utah is its own brand of conservative. I cannot explain it. You simply have to experience it.
I can't really check it from my phone because I'm using my phone to. I'll see if I can flip over here and take a look. She sent me a picture of what she's working on. Let's see. Oh, wow. That looks really good. And then she showed me what those little quilting yo-yos are. Okay, and now that I see them, I've seen them in quilts before, so I understand now. But yeah, your necklace looks awesome. It's got some beautiful glass beads at the bottom, and then some, I think maybe, oh, that's the white tiger's eye. I mean, the cat's eye all the way up, and she's got a few silver spacers. It turned out really nice.
That sounds pretty.
There we go. So I think I've almost filled in all the, I'm trying to find like smaller pieces now to kind of shove into the little cracks that aren't covered with glass. And so it's getting very 3D at the moment and very bumpy and rocky, but you know what? That's okay. I like it.
There's no rules.
I'm ready to put some glitter on this thing, but I know I'm going to get that everywhere.
You know what glitter is? Glitter is the herpes of the craft world.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it's a virus in itself.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that looks good right there. I'm just going to keep sticking stuff on here until I run out of this glue stick because I still don't know where my glue sticks are.
You can borrow mine. Oh, I don't have ones the size for your glue gun, though. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'd loan you some.
They used to be sitting over here with my tape.
Right up until you need them.
And this is like ribbon and stuff in this little, and I've got needles, ribbon. Yeah, but there's no glue sticks in there.
So I've got my base coat on. Oh, almost all the way. See a section that spots. Stop it. The dog. The nervous dog.
Dwayne gets home, you need to tell him that he needs to spend some quality time with his child.
Yeah, he'll take him outside and throw the ball for him. If I throw the ball for the dog, then the dog follows me around 24/7, sleeps on my, not on the bed, but on my side of the bed. But every waking moment, he follows around behind me and drops tennis balls. It doesn't matter how many I pick up. He finds another one. And he drops tennis balls behind me, and then I trip on him.
Oh, good.
And so I let Dwayne do the ball throwing for him.
Prince is one of those dogs. Like you show him a little bit of attention, and then he just goes wild about it. Like,
And
oh, you love me? You love me? Okay, great. We're gonna play all the time, and I'm never gonna leave you alone. And he's the same way. He'll throw his toys all over the place.
Odie would chase a tennis ball over the edge of a cliff. He is so
Yep.
ball obsessed.
Yep. And it's funny. Before we had Prince, Coco, we could throw things and get her to go get it and come back, and we could get her to play. Well, now that we have Prince, she waits and lets him go get it, and then when he comes back, she goes and takes it from him, and then
Oh,
tug
yeah.
of war with us or something. She lets him do all the work. She's fat and she's just lazy.
A friend of mine, she had 2
I'm
dogs.
like, you're the one that needs the exercise, Coco. You need to, like, he's slender and muscular. He doesn't really need to, but he's hyper.
A friend of mine who she actually put her dogs down together because they were the same age and they were both going. She knew one couldn't live without the other, but one was a whole lot smarter than the other. A whole lot smarter. The other one was very lovable. But so the one that wasn't so smart, he absolutely loved chasing the ball, but the other one was better at it, like you were saying. And so they'd have to get the one that was better at it, just sit there and wait so the other one could get extra time in because he. But and then you would do a laser light, and the dumb one would chase after the laser light. The smart one was a border collie mix, so that explains. But the border collie mix would sit and watch the person holding the laser pen. That's how smart he was.
Right.
But,
yeah, that's what I think about Coco. I think she's bright. She knows what she's doing. She's like, why do I have to go get it when I know?
Yeah. That sounds very smart of her. She's very. It shows that she's giving thought to multiple steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like too, she knows when you open the door, and she knows like your body language and stuff. If she knows that you're gonna tell her to go directly into her crate, then she will stand there and look at you and then look back and forth and look back and forth, and I'll have to say, come on, Coco, come on in this house, because she knows when I'm standing there like that she's not going to get to run free around the house right now. She's going to have to go in there. And a lot of times she'll take off running. He'll come in. I'll put him in the cage in his kennel, but she'll take off running. She don't want to come in. And then I'm just like, but then as soon as I come to sit back down, and I'm like, okay, then you just stay on the porch. And she'll start barking at everything because she knows I hate the barking. And then you also see her like run back to the door and then put her eye up to the door and see if I'm coming, because she knows that the barking makes me come to the door and tell her to stop, or makes me come to the door and let her in.
Yeah, we don't have a crate we don't even have a cat crate right now. I don't know what happened to. We haven't had one for a while. Oh, I took one of my cats, the crazy old one. I took her to the vet one time in a plastic Rubbermaid box. But
unless they're freshly bathed, we don't let them get on the furniture, and that's the only way to keep them off the furniture is to kennel them.
Well, we don't have any couches because the cat took care of the couches. Well, we'd have one in the front room. Dwayne, the family room is Dwayne's man space. But the front room's not even finished, so it doesn't matter that we don't have a couch because it wouldn't be in the front room. But because we got to put new flooring down. So that's well, Odie likes to run across our bed after he's been outside and it is wet out, and he loves to run across and get his muddy paw prints all over the bed.
Yeah, when it's been raining and we bring them in, we stand at the door and let one in at a time, and we dry their paws and dry them off.
We have a dog
door. There's many times that we go shopping or go somewhere and they're on the porch and then it starts to rain, because in Georgia, you never know when it's going to start raining. It just comes up all of a sudden. And then we'll get back and they're like, ooh, there's a table out there they can hide under so they don't have to just stand in the pouring rain. But yeah, we get home, we got to dry them off because they're soaking wet.
We have a dog door, so everybody just comes and goes. The feral cat stays indoors more than the other two cats, which is funny. But because she just follows my youngest son around wherever he is. He's skulking about, waiting for him. Because she doesn't care about anybody else, but she loves Jeremy, and her love isn't always so kind because even though she comes in the house, she's still feral. So
yeah.
she's not afraid of anyone. She's just not very nice. And then we've got the crazy one that every time she disappears, she lives part-time at somebody else's house. I wish they would stop opening their door and letting her out. She's old and insane, and I keep threatening to go have her put down because she's so nuts. And then we have my daughter's cat who cuddle rapes you, and she lies to strangers that come to the house and tells them she doesn't get any attention.
Right.
And I'm like, Natalie, take your cat. And then there's my dog, the poodle, who all he does is sleep. He sleeps seriously about 20 hours a day.
Right.
And we get along just fine. As I said, when this lot of pets go, I want to be done, at least for a while. I'm tired of pets. I got to go get clean rinse water.
Let's see. What kind of stickers do I have? I've got mermaid stickers and unicorn stickers, but no, I don't have any like butterflies or fairies or anything like that. I'm not feeling like creative. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm just like, I feel like this looks very plain. I don't know what to do about that. I do have glitter, so I can make it sparkle, but like, I feel like it, how you had the pretty roses and butterflies on yours?
I'd give you glitter. I have a ton of glitter.
I just don't know. I'm gonna let that dry for a second.
Yeah,
I do have these little. I picked these up when I was doing all my handmade Christmas. I went outside, and we have pine trees everywhere, and so I picked up pine cones. These are little baby pine cones that I saved that I was gonna put in potpourri, but I think they're really cute for like fairy houses.
Yes, absolutely, super cute.
I might put some of those somewhere.
No, that'll be really cute. I'm pondering my nest that I'm gonna. Oh, I'll paint the doors. I forgot about the doors. Dang it!
I'll be right back. I think I'm done with the glue gun though.
Yeah, this brush needs to be. I need to get out my brush soap. Let's see. I'm gonna jump back over to YouTube. See what's going on. Gotta refresh. This is what my house is or my barn, what it's looking like right now. It is, hang on, ivory white. My YouTube's still refreshing and I can see the comments. I need to learn how to pop when you pop it out and put it over in your yard stream. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. All I have now is indoor kittens whom are great at keeping clean. I clean the furniture twice a year and defer weekly. I'll put a towel down if I have a sickly kitty so they can't still lay beside. So they can still lay beside. Man, my pets are just free range. That's how my kids were growing up too. run wild. Luckily, our dogs don't wander, so that's really good. So if a door is open and they can get into the front yard, they don't take off, and I really, really like that. So, but oh yeah, making paper flowers. Like, remember how they used to do those out of newspaper? I don't even know how they did them. It wasn't origami. They had painted. I remember that from a long time ago. I've seen those like since the 70s. But so these are gonna be my doors. Gonna paint them. I'm just doing everything the butter ivory white. That's what it is. It looks like butter color to me. It should be called butter. But and then I'm gonna, I don't know, do some beige in some parts. Here, just do my base coat, same on everything, and we'll see as we go. I don't know if I'm gonna try something new on this. Like I said, I was watching YouTube for ideas on my other house, and you know, tried something just a little bit different from anything I've done before. Nothing major, just, you know. But I haven't crafted for so long.
I like that idea. Willow mentioned beaded vines and stuff. Now I do have so many beads. I could definitely
Oh
string
yeah,
some beads or something around it. Or I don't see it being completed all while we're on camera, but I'll keep working on it until we
heck
call
yeah.
it quits.
Yep.
And what I'll do is once my kids do get to come over and we do get to go out there and start building it, I'll share some photos and maybe make a little slideshow and upload it to this channel. Hopefully soon, since the weather's warming up and looking nicer, I'm going to get back out there working on the bus. So you'll see some videos coming soon on my bus channel. And if you're not subscribed, it's called Life on Bougie's Bus.
Cool. I'll have to subscribe to that if I'm not.
I don't know how far I'll get with finances the way they are right now, but I can work with the material that I've already purchased and do as much as I can with that. And then I think the hope will be at the point that I'm installing the electrical, because I need someone professional to do that for me, and I know that's going to get pricey. So
Sure.
I'll do as much as I can and share as much as I can. I'm really excited to get back out there and get it going.
Yes.
How far it goes. There's going to be lots of projects involved in that. I mean, I've got to build the couches and the countertops and the bathroom and all kinds of stuff. Right now, the driver's seat's not even bolted to the floor anymore. It's just sitting in there because we had to remove it to get up some of the rubber that was down on the floor, because you know we had to sand. We've got to sand all the flooring and then coat it with a rust-proof coating.
Cindy wants you to do a big picture of your house.
Of this one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Present it. There we go. So it's green, it's got some purple, and then I just kind of mosaic tiled sort of the top of it. I don't even know if that'd be correct with this situation, but it was just a light blues and greens and white or clear faux sea glass. And so now I think I'm ready to put some glitter on it, you know, somewhere on the green and stuff. And I didn't do any painting to the frame of the roof, so I maybe should add another color. I've got orange, and I have this bag. It has some of those little small paints in it. Any suggestions on a coordinating color with green and purple?
So the orange just for the trim?
That's what I'm saying. I do have orange, but I do have some other colors over here. There's not a lot in these little ones like this, but I probably have enough to do the trim. So if y'all have any suggestions for a color that would look good with that.
I'm thinking orange would be a little too much going on. I would go something neutral, but I do a lot of neutral. But that's just so that
Casey suggested brown.
yeah,
And
that's what I was
Cindy said
thinking.
it's cute. Thank you, Cindy.
Is so that it doesn't detract from your roof because that's your focal point of it.
I do have this one. It's called Chocolate Sprinkle.
Mm. Yeah, I would just stick with brown.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Still waiting for my paint.
I told him I'll
Dry.
probably paint the church, and then maybe I'll write Porch Church on that one, since
Oh, fun.
that's the only church that I attend.
Hey, I went to church a couple months ago.
Did you? Did you enjoy it?
I did. I hadn't. Well, so
Was it the Mormon church or?
yeah, it used to be 3 hours and they changed it to 2 hours. But my neighbor was singing, and and then I stuck around, because they do Mormon church. Is very different than any other. But they do the main gathering, and then they do classes, where they split up the kids' age, and I don't know. It's just they're totally revamping how they do things. The church president right now, he's going through everything, making changes, because I guess upon closer look, they're finding there's a lot of things that are done out of tradition, not because it's doctrine. And it's kind of like, so why do we do it that way? Sort of changing it up. That if it's not doctrine and it can be done easier, I guess that's what they're doing. So it was just 2 hours, and I did enjoy it.
Good.
Yeah. So.
See some friends and family that you hadn't seen in a while?
No, not at all. We've been in this house for 3 years, but we'd gone to a couple of, because they do a gathering at the park just down the street in the summer. Dwayne and I went to that. I just know a few neighbors is all. That's it. If we were back in the town we used to live in, then I would know people. Heck, there'd be people that I went to high school with, but not out this way.
Mormon churches there, but how many Catholic or other denominations are there in your area?
So there's so Salt Lake, has the most. There's Buddhist temple there. In Salt Lake, I guess there's a Catholic church somewhere around here. I've never seen it. There was one in the town we used to live in Dwayne. That's the one Dwayne went to as a kid, and where he went to school. So for a while, but yeah, we got it all. It's just not.
But just not right in your area. There's not much.
Yeah. There's a Mormon church every couple of miles, if that much. There's a Mormon church, but now there is a Baptist church that we've been to. I can't remember. It's Salt Lake area. That we went there when they had just opened it up, and it was really cool, really pretty. They had worked really hard to get that. Yeah, I was a coworker of Dwayne's that was a pastor there. She's in Florida now. But yeah. So and then there's the cathedral in Salt Lake that's really pretty. I've been there. Couple of other old churches. They're all kind of close together in Salt Lake, and
how far is Salt Lake? Like, how long does it take you to get there?
About 40 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic.
And your little town is what's it called?
Pleasant Grove. So we're in Utah County, and like to go to Michael's. I went 2 towns away, but it was just going up State Street. And when I went to Joann's, I went to the next town that way. Like I said, we're all just mashed together.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've told Dwayne we should check out bingo night at the Catholic Church out here. I think every Catholic church has bingo night, right?
Yeah, when I lived in Florida, I don't know exactly, but when I lived in Florida, there was a lot of bingo places that, retirees played at, and I always wanted to go check it out and see what it was like to go play bingo.
So Dwayne's brother is active with his Catholicism, and so we had gone to some things there to St. Olaf's for Dwayne's nephews. And so yeah, I've been to mass a couple of times, and I've been to the Baptist Sunday service, and I've been to the
only Catholic church that
temple.
I've been to in LA. I went to church with his dad and his stepmother. And that was the first Catholic church I'd ever been in.
Yeah, we tried to expose our kids to plenty of things. There's a lot going on in the world, and in California, I was minority, and then I came to Utah, and that was kind of horrifying for me. But my parents are from here, and my family's been here since the pioneers showed up on my dad's side. So
right,
yeah, and but so yeah, state history, church history, and family history all coincide for me.
Okay.
Because my dad's family, a couple branches of it, got a town going in central Utah. I've been there once, but anybody who's even heard of that town, I'm probably related to them. Because it's just a little tiny town.
Hey, Lynn. Lynn just joined us.
And very good. Oh, yep.
So I really should have made the decision of what color I wanted this before I glued all the stumps on it.
Oh, let me go back over StreamYard so I can see exactly where you're at. Because
so I'm trying to fill in all these little holes where you can see the wood.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm kind of getting it on the rocks, but you know what? The brown getting on the glass actually kind of gives it that dirt or moss almost kind of effect. So I'm not sure that I hate it that bad.
That's cool. And okay, I'm gonna do.
I think I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna kind of purposely get some brown on here.
Yeah, I've just been crafting and listening to audiobooks.
I haven't listened to any in a while. I usually tend to listen to more audiobooks as I'm driving.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll do it as I go to sleep, but then what aggravates me is I fall asleep and I don't set a timer, so the thing keeps going and going. Then I have to go and try to figure out where I left off at.
I have to do that. Yep, I'm constantly doing that. Hi. And here's my second house I went out into the world to get. He's not listening.
Yeah.
He's probably got something going on, listening to something through his hearing aids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he has his things, whether it's people on YouTube or audio book.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, I like this with the brown in there. Kind of ages it a little bit, so it doesn't look so new.
and then I'm gonna have to go back and get the next one I want. Like I said, my biggest problem is I don't know where I'm gonna stick all this. I'm gonna have to clear out some of my junk so I can have room for more junk.
John, hey John, thanks for joining us.
You're way better at checking that than I am because I keep flipping back and forth.
I have mine like where I can see both.
I need to learn how to do that. I need to have Dwayne show.
Next time we're on one, I'll try to explain it, show you. Really, all it is you minimize your StreamYard screen and then overlap the video screen on YouTube, so that then you on the right hand side you're looking at the chat, but you're not looking at the video on YouTube. You're looking at the StreamYard video.
That sort of kind of makes sense.
Okay. I'll try to help more about it.
Dwayne is definitely.
I'm not certain that it doesn't look like I poured chocolate on this thing, but I don't know. I know my kids would probably say, "Oh, Mom, it looks like poop all over it," but that's their sense of humor.
That's not unlike my own.
Well, I know they get a little bit of it from me and a little bit of it from their dad, honestly.
My humor is probably more obnoxious than, well, I don't know. Dwayne's obnoxious in his own way.
And then since I have the brown in here, maybe I should put a little bit of moss up in the cracks.
See, now, yeah, he's not listening to me talk to you. He's listening to the show.
Oh.
I figured. Yeah.
Howdy, Dwayne. Tell him go wash his hands.
Yep, go wash your hands. You're eating chips.
We have to stay on Dwayne.
Yes.
They're going in my mouth.
You got germs.
Now I really do need to know where my other glue sticks are so I can glue some moss up in this glass. Yeah, it toned it down, but
okay. And I'm going to do some brown on top. Gotta decide.
Let's see what the chat's saying. Oh, Picker, thanks for joining.
Let's see. Yeah, I've got Nevermore Antiques.
Yeah.
John. Howdy, John. Oh, we got Swamp Picker. Wow. I haven't I haven't talked to.
Does Dwayne want to come on and talk about stuff?
He'll hear what you just said before I can get his attention calling to him. So see, I haven't talked to John Orkland since we ended the auction.
I see him from time to time in other chats.
Oh, Cindy's leaving. Thanks for coming in, Cindy.
And get some online work done. They are super cute. Can't wait to see them all finished. Talk to you later. Bye, Cindy. Enjoy your dinner.
Mm.
And Lynn said, I love the color of the birdhouse, April. What color is that? The body portion of it. This one came from the Dollar Tree, and it's called Medium Green by
They went
Art
fancy.
Honesty, Rich Art. Yeah, medium green. not like this one, chocolate sparkle.
At least with the chocolate, you still know what they're talking about when there's the names of colors. That it's like, well, what the heck does that mean?
You're not chopped liver. I said hi to you, Lynn. Yeah, it's in that range of teal. It absolutely is. That's why I liked that color.
And yeah, I was witness to it, Lynn. I heard her say hi to you.
Look, Heather, I ran out of toilet paper.
Oh.
Brown paint all over my hands.
Uh-oh.
Okay, what can I do? I've got glue sticks. Do I have any like old school glue, like jelly glue to? What did you use to put your glitter on with?
Mine was a glitter varnish.
Oh, mine's like loose glitter, so I gotta have something to Mosh Posh. Okay, that'll do. Mosh Posh. Yeah, right. Yes, I love glitter and sparkle too. A fairy house is not a fairy house without some kind of sparkly stuff.
And
I love these little trays they had at the Dollar Tree. You get one pack for $1, and it has 6 of these little trays in them, and then, you can rinse them out.
oh, way cool. Yeah, right now
I've got one over here underneath my glue stick so that I don't get glue everywhere.
I do have. Yeah, I have a pink tray. I need to wash it. So I'm just using a throwaway bowl here.
Corona Brown. That's what Dwayne called it.
That's
Did
pretty
you want to
good.
come on here and cut up with us?
I will be right back.
Another paper towel. You ordered hand sanitizer from BBW a few months ago. Wished I'd bought more because they're sold out. Yeah. We weren't lucky finding it at the store. But then one day he went to the grocery store and he said he found these travel ones that have that little thing that you can latch onto your book bag, or I guess maybe he found it in the school supplies section or something, or you can hang it on your purse or whatever. It's got that little rubber casing on the outside. So he grabbed like 4 of those, and that's what we've had. But you can also use high percentage rubbing alcohol, and you can use that on your hands and stuff too. Now it's going to be drying, but so is hand sanitizer. So in a pinch, you can always do that, or you can mix up certain things like tea tree oil, essential oils that are antimicrobial and antibacterial and such, and rub your hands with those. And you can use that in a base of like aloe vera gel to rub onto your hands. So you can kind of make your own hand sanitizer if you need to. That's all natural. Oh, you're social distance from social media. You're social distancing from us. You suck. Okay, so glitter time. Even though everything's not dry, I'll go do touch-ups when I'm done. I want to glue some moss into the cracks of that rock, but I'm going to have to find my glue sticks where I can do that. Let's see. Get this paintbrush cleaned off so I can use it. We bought vodka. We have tea tree. Yeah, you can do that too. But at least with aloe vera, if you use it, just the plain aloe vera gel or real aloe vera, you're putting some moisture back into your hands, and it probably has its own antimicrobial or antibacterial properties to it. I'm not positive, but most plants do. Then you can just add those essential oils to it. I clean with all natural essential oils and stuff like that, so I really get into that kind of thing.
There's
I have
young.
alcohol everywhere, rubbing alcohol, because I use it to clean my jewelry.
We've got a couple different essential oil companies here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
But Young Living is one. Dwayne knows. I can't remember the name of the other. I can't remember. But the Young Living, that's a bunch of plugs. They got their farm.
They have plagues at their farm.
They have a lavender farm.
Oh yes, I went out of season for the lavender, but when we were up in the mountains, I found a place that sold like natural products, and they had a little lavender farm there too, but I didn't get to see it. And there's supposed to be some kind of festival, lavender festival or something.
Yeah, they do lavender days here.
Yeah,
well, not this year.
I want to go to that, but I've always missed it.
Yeah, we're not too far from it. I've never been. My son even sets it up, so.
Yeah, I think we have one in here in our state.
And but this to try, and then I want to do how the barn frame the doors. And I have popsicle sticks. The craft sticks would have been better, but this is what I have.
This is gonna be some messy glitter. It's cheap glitter when you can actually tell the inconsistency of the size of the glitter. Yes.
Where's your written goals?
What's your name? I forgot you.
What was that, April? I didn't hear you.
How do you know my name, sir? Oh, Lord. I ain't done that. I've been sitting here talking to your wife for days about these fairy houses.
What is that noise? There's a weird noise going on that Dwayne's going to go find that noise.
They're coming for your toilet paper. Beware.
Yeah. We got a little bit because we already have it.
We bought 2 when we could actually find some on the shelf. We just went ahead and bought 2 large packages.
What is that sound? Huh. Maybe someone's building themselves a shelter.
You don't think it's one of the aftershocks?
I don't know what it is, or it's hard to tell where it's coming from too.
Other ingredients to make more if needed. I already had plenty around the house. Same with bleach, Lysol cleaner, etc. Yeah. Lynn says they have lavender farms there, but her daughter is highly allergic to it. Oh no, lavender is like my favorite.
Yeah, I know a couple of people who are allergic to lavender, and I really like it.
Like that strong lavender that's like, because lavenders from different countries and different locations can smell a little bit different. there's some that like has more of a really
Yeah,
earthy
sure.
smell that my kids
He's
really
asleep.
don't like.
Mm.
But I like it.
So my
I feel like I'm doing a craft on the level of a kindergartner right now. I just really feel kind of embarrassed. I feel like it is not really looking, well done like yours look.
well, I've yet to feel inspiration for this one. Like I got some ideas, but I haven't really.
Do you think I should just use one glitter or go like crazy and do multiple glitters?
Stick with one.
Okay.
Just
'Cause
so
I'm
you
just
don't.
doing silver right
Yeah,
now.
just so you don't give anybody some kind of an acid flashback. And
I just really want it to sparkle because it's going to be outside, so I really want it to like show up in the sun and that kind of thing. Oh, speaking of our other craft, one of the things that's on my to-do list is to be making wind chimes. So how do you feel about making wind chimes?
Clean our fridge.
is it the ice maker? Our ice maker is having issues. So how do you?
I mean, you're talking about working with different little metal things that can ting together, and you're just putting them on like some fishing line and using some kind of base to string them from. You'd probably need like a circular disc if you just want to be very basic and then just kind of make it your own. Maybe some kind of circular disc that, Dwayne could drill some holes in it for you or something. And then you'd string different little metal or crystal or some kind of little things from it.
Maybe what we could do is get a basic kit online and then add to it.
I mean, you could, but I already have lots of things to work with.
And yeah, I'll have to look online for ideas and see if I do have anything, but I think I would start with a kit for me.
Okay. Well, that would work, yeah. And then that could be our next project because I do need to start trying those out. Because I wanted to get some of those done, for the spring to get listed in my store and see how they do on Etsy and maybe on eBay as well.
And that sounds like a very good idea.
Because that's what I'm doing these days. I'm thrifting lists and making more that I sell. Willow said basic wind chime kits show up at Dollar Tree about this time of year. And also, you maybe even could dissect one that's already made from the Dollar Tree and turn it into your own. That might be a good idea too.
Yeah, get a few different things and turn it into my own. Yeah, wind chimes is something I have never given any thought to, so that'll be something definitely new.
I'm going to put some out there. I'm going to put some out there around my fairy garden as well. But Lynn asked about where did we get our birdhouses.
Oh yeah,
this one I thrifted. It was at the Goodwill. I bought this one and a church, but this little small one, these little tiny miniature ones, you can get these at the Dollar Tree. That's where I got this one from. So if you just want to practice run on one before you, or if you want to miniaturize your fairy garden, like make it really small, then yeah, those are really cute for that.
So the first one I showed you that I finished over the weekend was from Joann's. What I'm working on now is from Michael's. Mm-hmm. I go to Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Oh no, that is from Hobby Lobby. That's my first one. Or I have bought a couple from Savers and then sanded them down and redid them.
I'm going to put a different glitter around the bottom. Just because I want to cover up that purple that really did not was not a good paint. I do not suggest I do not suggest these paints. It seems like you'd have to end up using a lot more. Now, I say that about these that come in this tube in Crafter Square at Dollar Tree, but
Mhm.
this one is very good. So this
My
particular one's better than that. And then these right here work well too. This is a chalkboard paint, so I wouldn't say anything bad against that. But these particular ones right here, they're more like for letting kids play with it. It doesn't seem to do so well.
my favorite brand is Americana.
Mhm.
I like their colors, and it's always a quality paint. Not all that I own is Americana, but that is my favorite. And then I personally like to do the ones that already have the gloss in them, so then you don't have to go over it again with
Mhm.
a varnish.
Right.
And you can get them much better priced at Michael's than at the other craft stores.
Okay.
So,
I know
um,
I bought a spray acrylic clear coat. So once I'm done with this, that's what I'll do. I'll spray it down to seal it from the weather since mine's going to be outside.
that sounds like a really good idea. But that is great.
I just
Yeah,
pulled
I
one.
have all kinds of varnishes and such, but I can get away with one step.
Mm-hmm.
The paints that I bought Friday were not. Um, like I said, I was at Hobby Lobby, and theirs with the varnish or the gloss enamel was $3. I'm like, forget that.
Right.
And is it the ice maker?
Mhm.
It's our ice maker making the weird noise. It
Uh,
it's it doesn't work, and now it's complaining. On top of that,
resolved. Hmm. Okay, let's see. I got pinky one. I like that vibrant color. I have some other glitters in there too that I got from Target. I raid Target for crafting stuff. I love to raid Target's little dollar section that they
yeah.
have.
um, we have a Target over in American Fork, but it's not. I used to live closer to a Target. Would go, but out here, I don't know. I've been to like once.
You
Yeah.
haven't seen any
What was
around there.
that?
What were you saying about Target?
Oh, the where I used to live, there was one close by, so I'd go to that one. But here, it's not so close. So,
They have some of the cutest stuff in their dollar section. That's
do
why I love
they?
it so much.
Okay.
And then when when the holiday that they put it out for is over with, if you can find anything left over, it's like one of the best places to get, discounted craft supplies.
Ah, I didn't
Because
even
they
know
really
that.
I bought some beautiful jars that I got for like 30-40 cents a piece. They have like the cork top. I use them on my spice rack to put, spices or herbs or rice, or like I've got peppercorns in one, like they're nice, really cool looking jars.
That's cool. You'll have to show us.
Oh yeah. I can go grab one. And I still have some I haven't used yet. But I love them.
If anyone can hear that pounding sound, that is the ice maker.
I don't know if you'd call these like, they look kind of like milk jugs almost or something. And they have these cork tops that came with them. And I bought every one that they had left.
And here, let's see. I gotta move back over here. Oh, that is way
Yeah.
cute. And then
Yeah.
keep them out on a shelf.
Yeah, I have we built our own custom spice rack because I do love to cook and I do use lots of herbs and spices. So, I used these jars to actually measure the bottom shelf, so I knew that, they were tall enough for these to fit on there.
And our spices are in their own cupboard, and they are alphabetized in
Now, don't go
jars.
as far as to alphabetize them, but
Welcome to Life with Dwayne.
right. But I do have them like right there in all glass jars, whether they be those jars or mason jars or still in their spice bottles or whatever. And so that I can clearly see them and easily find what I'm looking for.
And that's cool.
Let's check the chat. Willow said even made a garden wishing well, buckboard wagons, creek bridges, all kinds of yard decor stuff. That sounds like lots of fun.
Yeah.
Every birdhouse I've ever done, no bird entered, is what Lynn said.
The people who had lived here, because it was winter, you could see where there was the grandkids' garden area, and there was some fairy stuff there, and I put it all into a basket. It's on the patio.
We took the kids to a park about a month or so ago. I had some of my little cousins staying over, so we all went to the park so that they could all kind of just play around and have fun and not destroy the house and be in the house all day. And it was out in Tyrone, Georgia, which is not very far from here. It's a little small town. But they had a little area that was like a little, sort of like a little fairy garden. And they had it like, they had a little sign there that says, take a rock, leave a rock. Like you could hand paint one and leave it, or you could leave a cool, interesting, rock there. But they had some little fairy looking houses and flowers and stuff. It was really neat. So I told the kids I wanted us to kind of decorate a rock or do something like that and then take it back and put it out there.
There's somewhere out in nature, up in the mountains or something, that is a fairy garden area. I've heard. I've never seen it. A friend of mine's been there. She said it's way, way cool. Like I said, it's out there.
Is it in Utah or are you talking about some other state?
Nope, it's here. And
I know I thought I saw some kind of show one time where they were talking about there was a guy that would he would build them and he would put them up near this walking trail where people normally walk, and it became such an attraction for the local people. They would, when they'd be walking the walking trail or whatever, they'd stop with their kids and look at all the intricate, cool new houses that he would put up and like make little displays and things. And I thought that was really neat.
That is. So Great Salt Lake is really big, but there's part of it where there's a spiral jetty, and it's like this rock and cement swirl that leads out. We took the kids to see that one time. It was really neat. It was like a perfect day. The Great Salt Lake often stinks bad, but it was not stinky, and the weather was perfect that day, and so it was just a really fun experience. It was probably was it on Labor Day weekend, I think. But yeah, you can find that online on the Spiral Jetty. Some artist, I don't know, it may have been, I don't know how long ago he did that. Dwayne could tell you facts. He remembers facts about things. I remember more of the details. He remembers more of the facts. So really, it takes both of us to give you a complete story of anything that has happened in the past 24 years. It's really bad.
Lynn said where she lives, they have a rock exchange like that too.
And that's really awesome.
Do y'all have any of those like leave a book, take a book little things that are usually out at parks or near municipal buildings where they're just like a they're on a stand outside, and they've got glass panels, and it's like a box, and you open it up and it's got books in it, and you can take one and then put one back. It's kind of like a free library kind of thing.
And
Do y'all have those? We have those around here.
not that it's certainly possible, not that I know of. In Salt Lake, a lot of the homeless people hang out around the library, so they probably don't have one there. Yeah, I don't know. Something I have to look into.
Mm-hmm.
Willow says she's got a flower bed designated to become a fairy garden.
Yeah, that's what I've got to do. I got to clear some vines out over there before they start to grow over. But we've got some blackberries, wild blackberries that grow right in the same area. I've got some tulips and some irises that grow over there close by. And then I don't know what type of bush that's called. I don't know. It's not a hydrangea. But they're bushes that grow back every year. Like I've got one by the house that blooms white, and it's blooming now. And then I have a reddish, pinkish one out over there near where I'm going to make the spot, and it's blooming right now. And I don't know because it was part of the landscaping that was here when we bought the home, but we also have some in the backyard that are like that too. But they're just a bush that puts out pretty flowers.
Yeah, we don't have any blooms here yet. Not warm enough yet.
I'd have to take one of the flowers off of it, and I guess do some research to try to figure out what it is. And Lynn said, yes, they have a book exchange at the park. Yeah, that same park with the Rock Exchange. Yeah, they have a book exchange there, but I know they have one down in the Valley area too. And I've seen they've got one over here in Noonan. They got it close to the sheriff's department. So that way, there's somebody watching it in case some dummy wants to be rude and steal the books or something. But it's just a cute way to, like, if you finish a book and you didn't really want to keep it or whatever, you could go put it in there and take one that somebody else left and just exchange them out and read different ones. And it's really, I think that's an amazing idea.
Yeah, that is a really good idea.
People that can't necessarily afford things and stuff like that.
Or, like, for me, I don't know, with a paperback book. What the heck do you do with a paperback book once you're done reading it,
Put it in those book exchanges or
yeah, exactly.
Donate it to the library.
Yeah, because, paperbacks aren't attractive enough to donate or designate bookshelf space to.
I get that, but a lot of my resource books for jewelry and rocks and stuff like that, a lot of those tend to be paperback. So I have a bunch of paperback.
Oh, I think we do out in the garage. We don't have any bookcases right now. I don't even know where we'd put one in this house unless we put it downstairs.
I think I ordered mine off of Wayfair. That's where I ordered my little bookshelves. I got them, I think, earlier last year. That's when I got mine finally, because I was tired of all my books and I filled them almost all the way up, and I still have a bunch of photo albums from my childhood and from my grandmother and my mother that I need to get out of the garage and put on the bookshelf.
Oh, definitely, yes. I have a drawer in my antique dresser that's in the front room that has pictures. Whenever I come upon photos, I go stick them in that drawer. Try to keep them all together.
To be honest, it's a blessing to me that now we just take digital photos, because my mom used to take so many freaking pictures. And when she passed away, we never got them all developed either, but we have so many rolls of film.
I have rolls of film. I have no idea what's on them.
And I'm like, no, I couldn't imagine how expensive it would have gotten for me to try to develop all of that.
Yes.
Now,
And
my
that's
grandmother, her mother, she, like I said, she had muscular dystrophy. So opening a camera and doing all the film and all that kind of stuff wasn't that easy. So she always used a Polaroid camera. And we just bought her the Polaroid film. So she'd snap the photo and it just automatically, come out.
yeah.
And so most of her pictures were Polaroid pictures. But, over the course of years, those start to get really ugly. They don't last.
No, they don't hold their colors well.
Mhm.
What my daughter has is a Polaroid printer so she will take a picture on her phone and then she will send it to the printer. And then it just comes out just these, just little tiny pictures. They're
Yeah.
so cute. It's a lot of fun.
My daughter has a camera now that's like a Polaroid camera that does it. It makes these little tiny square photos. I've got one. I think she gave me one. Yeah, it's on the refrigerator.
Yeah, my daughter had one of those too, but it got stolen out of her car.
She got it. She got it last Christmas, not this past Christmas, but I think the Christmas before. But yeah, it takes those cute ones, and those are great for like scrapbooking and stuff.
Yes. And what my daughter had done is she put some twine. Maybe she knows where the twine is, but she did along her wall and then just clipped the pictures to them. So she had all these pictures of her with her boyfriend, and then they broke up, and that she broke up with that boyfriend.
So, yeah, I think at this point, I like the colors. I like everything. And then when I can find my glue sticks, I'll just go back in with this Spanish moss and just kind of fill in some of the cracks and stick some moss in there, but not completely cover it.
Yeah. But no, that sounds like a really good idea.
And I think that would be pretty much it. I may need to get some putty or something and fill that little hole where I took out the little dowel that was like the perch thing.
Mm-hmm.
I may fill that in, but other than that,
Yeah, mine I'm putting. So
I think that'll be good for my first one, and I think the next one I'll just try to, do something a little bit different, but that also is bright and colorful because I'm very much about bright, colorful. I'd love to do something like extremely neon with one of them too.
control everything. But
How
yeah.
are you about sewing?
I know the basics of sewing. I don't have a sewing machine. My kids didn't even believe that I knew how to sew. I can do craft level sewing, like I can make Christmas stockings. But
Yeah,
my mother's Bernina is downstairs. It's older than I am. It's from like 60. And
I have another idea, something else that I have lined up in my line of craft things I want to do is making a handbag out of placemats.
oh, way cool.
And it's very basic. You just take the circular ones and you stitch them together. And then, of course, flip them out inside out. You can also put a liner in it if you want to line it. It's a cute little beach bag type idea. And then you can attach the pre-made wooden handles if you want. But since I have so many beads, I thought about making like beaded handles or something.
That sounds really cool. Willow says to glue a button or bead over the hole. That's a really great idea.
Awesome. I have some glitter buttons right here.
And then Perlini says, I love neon colors. You guys must not remember the neon craze of the mid 80s. I was in junior high and I got tired of neon.
That's what I'm saying. Like all my pictures in elementary school, I was wearing bright neon colors, but I love it. I love it.
Oh, I never was a fan of it. I had a pair of neon pink socks was all. But
I had a skirt that was like all the neon colors. Each section was neon green, neon pink, neon purple. Like it was like all the way around. It rotated all the way around the skirt. And then the shirt that went with it was neon pink and had some other neon colors.
talk about giving somebody a acid flashback.
See if that Mod Podge will hold it, that button. If not, when I find my glue gun, I'll reattach it. But you know what? The button adds an extra bit of cuteness. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And the glitter in the button is the same color as the glitter that I used on the thing, so that's even better.
Perfection.
Thank you, Willow. I really like that idea. But I just touched the bottom, so I took some of the glitter off. It got all over my hands. I'm the worst. I'm like a child when it comes to paint glitter.
I'm such a sloppy painter. I tried painting a door, and I need to sand the ugly spots down. My sister came over and painted one of my doors, and she did. It's perfect. Need to have her come over and fix my disasters. And that's why the front room is, well, we got to put the trim, well, flooring and then the trim. But I got to finish painting the doors first, and then we're going to do laminate in the front room because carpet and pets are horrible together. And because there had been carpet in the front room, and the crazy cat took out the carpet when she did the couch. And it was just low tier carpet. They like put it in to sell the house, I think, or not long before they put the house on the market. So I didn't really want to put that much effort into saving it. And like I said, and then just do laminate in the front room, and then
well, I am done. Can we see what you've gotten done so far?
Okay.
I'm going to put it on you so we can see clearly what you've gotten so far. All right. Sit back like I'm watching a movie.
Let me move over to, okay, so the one I finished yesterday is this one. And yeah, I got flowers on both sides there. Oh, and this is going to be leaning against the back of it, a little piece of fencing there. That was going to be a door, but didn't happen. And then I cut off the perch there. It's beige. Dwayne.
Okay. So we're gonna have to follow you on Facebook to see how it comes out.
And then here's
next time we'll get you to show us the finished product.
Yep. Then there's my doors that I'm gonna glue on it, and my popsicle sticks to do the cross thing. Cut those down as I go. And that's not really going with my Easter eggs. I don't know. Because like I said, I don't know, I guess it's okay with my Easter eggs. I've got to find something that I'm going to do my Easter egg farm around my beige house. I wanted to do my house understated so that my pastel eggs stand out.
Right.
So that's why I did it kind of. Well, I might go over this with a little sandpaper a little bit, give it a little more of a, just a little bit of a worn look. Probably do that just because it adds a little dimension. And that's as far as I've gotten. Like I said, at some point I'll have my clear vision of where I want to go. I've just been distracted by other things like earthquakes to really focus in on the creative. I'm doing okay. Just it'll happen. But
Well, that's what this is all about. Us using crafting as a form of therapy to help us overcome
Yes.
stress.
And you can take me off the big screen now. But
Okay.
yeah, I had told my oldest son, who is a good artist, I'm like, you should do like art therapy, like become an art therapist. And he's like, is that even a thing? And I said, I have no idea, but you should look into it, because he's also interested in psychology and art.
Carmen just brought me my mail, so I got a package from Cheyenne.
All right,
She has live auctions and stuff, so I'm going to open that up while we're still on here and see what I
fantastic.
got, because I honestly don't remember. There's some jewelry for you guys. I bought some pretty turquoise the other day. Got a real good deal on it online. I'm going to use it to create some pieces. So I bought, okay, that's right. This is a sterling silver pearl ring that I bought for my daughter, because that's her birthstone.
Now you got to put you on big.
Yep. Let's see. So this is, I paid, what did I pay? I think I paid $10, maybe, for this ring. And it's sterling silver and pearl. Let's see if I can cut it open and get it out. And I bought my son a ring from Moonstone Mama. It's a sterling silver fidget ring or spinner ring. So it's got a little Volkswagen bug on it, and the bug goes all the way around the band, so he can sit there and fidget with it, because he's got ADHD. So
Cute.
I'm always looking for something that he can do so that he doesn't jump around or chew his nails off and stuff like that.
That's something where my son, the charter school he went to, they had things for the kids for fidgets. Like they tie, or they put out like these big rubber bands around the legs of the desks so they could kick them.
So it's
Oh, that's cool.
And she says it's sterling. I'm gonna check it real fast with a magnet though.
It looks pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty. Now I noticed that the pearl's kind of moving around in there, and then I look underneath and I noticed that it was glued in down there too at some point, but it seems like it's not going to come out. I may have to tighten the prongs on it. I'm just trying to find my magnet at this point. There it is. Find my magnet, see if it's magnetic. Oh, it's magnetic.
Yep, it's magnetic.
And see, and then it just.
Oh my gosh! That could not have been more perfect aim there.
The part is that she tells you that she tests it, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
The pearl feels real. I scratched it across my teeth. It feels real, but yeah, that's magnetic.
I know it's annoying, Odie. I think the noise is getting to Odie. The ice maker keeps making this tick sound.
And it's even marked sterling on the inside, but it's so poorly done that you can see. So I'm assuming sometimes she may just be going by the mark and not always acid testing it. Okay, so let's see what else. I still got a good deal on it. I didn't pay too much, but I try to do at least sterling silver with my kids too, because I don't want their skin to turn green. We react to base metals and stuff. Copper doesn't do that. That's why I really love copper.
There's a copper mine in Utah. It's one of the hugest man-made holes in the whole world. You can see it from the moon.
Oh, really?
It goes straight down. It's ginormous, and the equipment that they use in it is huge.
So
too.
this is a brooch that I got, and it's got a beautiful glass stone in the middle.
That's
And
pretty.
some pink rhinestones around the outside. Now, looking at the back, it does have like that scrolling detail, so I would kind of assume that this looks like a vintage 1928 piece, which is a costume designer.
Yeah.
And let's see what else is on here. Oh, yes. This was copper that I got. So any of you people that like owls, this is beautiful. It's got a maker's mark on it. I'll have to do some research on the maker's mark. And then it's marked solid copper. But it's a beautiful owl.
Oh, that's really pretty. I like that.
And the eyes seem to be made of maybe silver or something. So I'll have to test the eyes. And then on the back, you've got that stamp right there. Sorry about my nail. That's some of that brown paint that I didn't wash off. But it does have a maker's mark there, so I'll have to do some research. But yeah, that's really pretty. I was excited about getting that one.
Yeah, I like that.
But I'll just have to let her know that that one didn't turn out to be silver. So that's a little jewelry for you. I know I don't do many haul videos anymore. Like I said, I'm trying to make more than I buy now, because buying around here, unless it's extremely unique and rare or something like that, as far as the vintage realm goes, I'm going to pull back on buying so much just basic vintage jewelry and really look for more of the what I'd call the treasures, and then make the rest of it myself, because I enjoy that.
Hold your house up close again. And how cute.
Like I said, it may look like something a kid did, but I think it's cute.
I think it's really cute. And it was your first house.
Yes, it was my first one. And look, the button does look so cute right there.
Yeah, yes.
Yep. So I think I'm gonna do one like really bright and some really bright colors. So I'll have to get some brighter neon-y paints, and then I might do one that's more subdued, like the one that you made. That would be cool.
Yeah. See, now I've got you hooked on it, huh?
Yeah, I really do like it, and like I said, this will be just something that me and the kids can work on together to do. That I can always go and get them one of these when my son's like, I'm bored, and let him make his own.
Yeah.
And then he can add it to the village that we'll create out there. Yeah, but I think, let's see, I'm going to pull us both back up. And I think I am going to end it, and we can just say goodbye to everybody. And
yeah, we're almost 3 hours.
I was thinking.
Oh, now you're muted because you turned off the one that had the speaker on, or the microphone on. Hopefully she's not talking to us still. Okay, she's going to fix it.
Now, there we go. I had to
There you are.
turn my phone up so that I didn't cause that weird disruption. You can hear me now, though, right?
I can hear you now. Oh, now and some back feed.
If anybody's watching the video after the fact, and you want to leave any suggestions or ideas or challenges for me and Heather to do for,
Heck yeah.
then just feel free to leave a comment below the video. We enjoy getting that feedback, and I'm sure we'll be back on pretty soon with our next craft once we get it figured out. You were saying probably once a month.
Yeah.
I'm sure to have a challenge, but when I find time or I feel like I can, I try to come on anyway and just sit and talk and do something, or have a guest on if somebody can come on and show us what they do. I love doing that. So always feel free to contact me, and if you want to come on and show us what you do or talk about what you do, you're more than welcome. because I would love to have some more guests. And I guess we will talk to you soon. You want to say anything before we go?
I'm gonna keep thinking on this, and I'll find my inspiration on it, and then the next show I will show everyone.
Yeah. And share it on Facebook too, so we can check it out.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.